My dear students, today we'll be taking up the different ways in which we can define poetry. Poetry is considered to be the superior most jnana. It is like a gift from God. But when the poetry is rendered, we classify into some types. The first type is the lyrical poetry. The lyrical poetry is considered to be more musical in its content, right? And the second type of poetry is narrative poetry. The third is dramatic poetry. Now, of course, all these three poems are not clearly compartmentalized kinds of poetry. We can find lyrical quality in narrative poetry. We can find dramatic in lyrical or lyrical in dramatic, right? So they are not exclusive. But when we talk about lyrical poetry, which is actually very popular, and most of the poems that we read, they have a lyrical quality to it. They generally are characterized by the expression of speakers' innermost feelings. The poet shares his experiences with his readers, and most of these situations are far-fetched, imagined, and of course the word lyric, it has a meaning, and it is a noun. It is a stringed musical instrument, that is a musical used to produce music. But of course this poetry, it was in ancient times, in classical and medieval times, most of it was sung, and it was accompanied with a lyric, right, with the lyre, right? So lyrics are the poetry, the poetry, and lyre is the musical instrument. Now, most of the lyrical poets are musical, and this music is not only because of the musical instrument lyre, but from the words and their arrangement. So these words, they will have an inner rhythm, a melody, and that is why these songs are called lyrics. The first type of lyrical poetry is the pastoral poem. This poem is more about nature, about countryside, about mountains, about hill, cattle, something romantic, right? The second types of poem are the poems of praise, in which a lover will probably praise his beloved, right, or someone else. Third is the poem in which some noble feelings are expressed, and in a very dignified manner, about something, about somebody or something, right? These poems are also devoted poems. The next is elegy. Elegy is a poem of lamentation. When you a poem written by a poet when he loses someone near or dear to him, or he tries to empathize the feelings of a person who has lost his near or dear one. The second type of poetry is narrative poetry. In this type of poetry, a story is told, and a role similar to that of a narrator in a work of fiction. Ballad is a narrative poem which is quite popular, and there is epic as well. Ballad is a kind of narrative poetry in which some story is told, some popular folk tale is told, and then epical poetry in which a long tale, generally it is a very imaginative, many characters are there, from a war is there,